Alright, we're going to do Bradbury Thompson now. So the first thing you wanted to do is to get a selection of the designer's work, which is here. And as we can see, a lot of his stuff, especially in this top part, not so much the bottom part, but definitely the top part, is just made up of a lot of magenta and cyan and stuff. So printer colors, basically. Okay, so that's what his work basically is. So if we just save this, and when you save it as a JPEG, it will show you how big it is. So at this size, it's only 108K. It's not taking very much memory because a lot of those colors are repeated because he doesn't have a very large color scheme. So anyway, I'm going to save it like this, and I'm going to go to colorexplorer.com. I'm going to choose that file that I just saved called Bradbury, and I'm going to analyze it with Color Explorer and see what we come up with. I'm just looking for 10 colors. So we've got this magenta, the blues, the yellows. I'm just going to try to see if, play around with rough to ultrafine just to see what else you come up with. No, that's not right. Ultrafine. And I might choose 25 colors just to see what comes up. Now there is Bradbury's color scheme. I think that's spot on. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to go into Photoshop, put a new document in. So I totally agree that that is Bradbury's color scheme. That's spot on. And now we're going to make a open up a golden section, and using the eyedropper tool to select a color, like lots of creams and mauves obviously, but also these yellows and magentas and blues. This green is popping in there as well. We're going to fill in that color scheme for the golden spiral. So I'm going to do that now using the eyedropper and then the paint bucket tool. The first one I'm going to do is just this sort of mauve. So I'm going to fill that in. Cool. So here we have a golden section of Bradbury's major colors. Obviously these yellows and blues and cyans and magentas, so no surprises there. So I'm going to go File, New, International Paper A3. I'm going to start on the poster. The first thing I'm going to have is the golden section itself, and I'm going to put that in there, and kind of put it at the bottom here. Cool, I'm happy with that. Might add a little stroke just to separate it from the back, just with a tiny bit of black, just to make things obvious. Now I'm going to leave the background as white on this artist because he uses so much white. I wouldn't normally always do that. Now just to show you, I'm just going to clear up my area just a tiny bit. So yeah, I'll just show you what I've done beforehand. So I found these 5 fonts that I thought really looked like something that Bradbury Thompson might use. Arbutus Slab, Junction Regular, solus, Stardos-stencil, Coolvetica. Most of these are from DeFont. Some of them are from Font Squirrel. I think one of them is from 1001 Fonts. But just find 5. You're going to use 3 fonts that make you think of that artist. The other thing that I did is I found some information about him just from Wikipedia, but you guys should get some more information from other sources. So I've been a bit lazy, but you guys don't just have it about the bio, about his style, describe how you describe him in your own words. And the other thing is just images of his work and the artist. So I'm going to open that up now. Where is okay? So we want a picture of the artist. We want to have some of his work. That's right. And what else? These hammers look cool. What else? Might do this. Okay, bits and pieces. And now you can put them into this document. Just drag them in. Not sure if that one really sums it up. I might just get one more. Hang on. Maybe this one. That's an interesting one. I'll do a close up of that one. Alright, so here we've got some ideas. Now I'm just gonna move to this one, because I think this might be something interesting we could do with this one. I'm just going to make it really massive. And I'm going to make it so massive that kind of taken out of context, we don't even know what it is. Like that big. Alright, cool. Now I'm just going to make that the lowest layer. There's my color scheme, which looks pretty spot on to me. The artist, I'm going to put in, the artist, a picture of the designer I'm going to put up here, on top right. I'm just going to try to keep it in that white area. This postage stamp design, or whatever it is, I don't even know. And these hammers are quite cool. Might be something cool we could do with that. So we just go to our selection tool. I wonder if I can. No, I'm going to try magic wand instead. Okay, I'm going to try to get rid of all the white here. Let me just try something. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Okay, that looks okay. And I'm going to give them. I'm going to cut that out as well. That text. I don't want that. And what else? A little bit of dirt there. And I don't want to do that. Whatever's there. Okay, cool. Now we've just got the hammers. And I think the hammers might be kind of cool. Well, let's just make them a little bit smaller. If I put them up here, it's quite a neat little graphic for the top part. That's quite cool. It's kind of in line with that yellow. So anyway, that's an interesting little part, and that's part of his artwork. As for the background, I'm going to get rid of this. It's not really need it, and because everything else is white, so obviously an advantage. I don't know what to do with this. I might just use a corner of it, so I might just make that really big. It looks kind of interesting. And what should I do with the lady? Oops. And I'll... Okay, I got another idea. What if we just get rid of that for a second, and we'll put the color scheme just for once. We'll put it down here, make it ever so smaller. And I'm going to concentrate on the lady. I'm going to do something interesting with this. So I'm going to try to do the same sort of thing, just selecting the white around the character, and I'm going to try to remove that. It still looks like her, and get rid of that text. You might not be able to see with the quality of the video, but there's a little bit of text and fluff and stuff around. Which is quite an interesting shape. So if she sits there, we'll give her a stroke of white, just to sort of blend her out from the background a tiny bit. Good or terrible? Make it quite thick. Alright, cool. Now why I'm going to do this will be obvious in a little while. Now what's the one I made invisible? This one. I might bring that back somewhere. I don't quite know where. Should I put it underneath her? No, that looks terrible. Okay, let's just take it out. I'm not sure what to do it yet. So, first things first, let's smell the designer's name. Bradbury Thompson. Oops. And let's make it nice and big. Cool. On 2 lines it actually looked better. And I'll make it fill this. Now this is a Coolvetica which is the perfect font for the Stardust. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of it as a layer, and I'm going to duplicate that layer and move it down and to the side. And just let it just lock in, and I'm going to do a color overlay on this particular one. Ugh, red of black. Cool. Just to give that sort of offset look to his work. So that looks pretty cool. Now the thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to decrease that stroke a tiny bit. That's too much. That's the word of it. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have some text go around this central figure, which I hope is a good idea. Alright, cool. So that's kind of like my layout, and I have all the space around here to do the text. So this is the idea. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this central figure, I am going to use the polygonal tool, and I'm just going to quickly, roughly select the shape of the figure and the color palette. Just pretty roughly until I get a shape. There we go, there's a shape. And this is the shape that I don't want the text to go onto. So I'm going to go select and save it. And I'm going to call it the middle. And it shows up in my channels. You don't have to fiddle around with that too much. All you have to understand is that it's there. Now go into the block of text. So I want my text to start kind of here. And it's going to go all the way down like this. And then there's the part where you need to pay attention. You're going to press Control and Alt and press that middle shape. And what's happened is it's created this weird sort of shape. It's kind of like an E, kind of hugging the figure in the shape. Okay? Alright, and then you're going to right click on it and say make a work path. And if you go path, there it is. Alright, and then all you're going to do is you're going to paste in. So you see now it's sort of like hugging the shape. Quite cool. And now where I'm up to in the information. And then I'm going to might have a bit of this, bit of this, bit of this, blah blah blah. I want to have that. So that's my next bit of information. And I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to similarly go like this. Rectangular tool, but I don't want it to go over the top of this, so Control Alt, press the middle. You see now it's created a kind of shape that's going to hug it. And you just right click and you call that a work path as well. It'll be a different work path. So if you go to the path, you got this one and this one. And then you go to the text and you fill in the next little bit. And that's hugging a bit too close. I might just move it a little tiny bit. So it's going around the character, see. Still feels like there's something missing, but I don't know what. I've got some space along here, so I'm going to find one more tiny little bit of information. I might have the mono alphabet. Is there a quote? Nobody did it better than Bradbury. How about that? That's a quote from someone else. Oh no, simplification. There we go, that's a cool quote. And I'll use a different font. I'll use Arbutus Slab. And I want that to go across here. And I'll put that in Arbutus Slab. I'll make it a little bit smaller. Cool. Get a bit bigger. And I might put that in a different color. But yeah, that's basically it. So there we go, Bradbury Thompson. Cool, I just moved things around just a tiny bit. I put simplification, intuition,